Welcome back to the Nosebleeds Sports Podcast, episode 6. We are back after our week off. We are live, and we got a little fresh do here in our studio. New background, couple logos. We got a new little intro there, but fellas, we had a busy sports week that happened. We missed a lot, but let me get to my other two people here, Brady, Vince, guys. How are we doing today?
Man, I can't complain. It's been a good day. Got some good work done, and it's always a good night when we get to film the podcast.
Brady?
Yeah, I'm doing just fine. It's a great day.
So like we mentioned, we took a week off due to me and Brady being on vacation, but we are back, and we hope that everyone caught up on other podcasts, our TikToks, Instagram, you name it. I hope you guys were able to catch up, but I kind of want to ask guys, what did you do over break when we were gone?
So I did a couple things, a lot of work, obviously. Went to the Reds game, saw on Monday when they played the Mets, saw them beat the Mets 12-0, and that was like the highlight of my week, honestly. It's always a good day when you get to beat Juan Soto and the Mets. But saw them play, saw the Bananas play last night, I think, or yesterday. That was a really cool experience. To see them play. Great American Ballpark was rocking, I would say, yesterday, but not much, man. It's just been just chilling and relaxing and enjoying my time off.
There you go. Who was the celebrity for the Bananas game when you went?
There was none.
There was not a celebrity. Wow. That's crazy.
They had one Friday and Saturday, but they did not have one for Father's Day.
Man, you went to the worst one.
I was a little upset about that. I will say I was a little upset about that.
Yeah, T. Higgins that first day, Adam Dunn the second. Man, that's
now
crazy.
It's like it got me thinking. It's like I should have gone on like one of the first 2 days.
You could have seen, man.
Yeah.
But that's it, man. We were off for a little bit. Me and Brady were in Florida. It was hotter than hot in Florida. It was kind of a little, but we had fun.
Right for Florida.
Yeah, we had fun. It was nice taking a little week off, but we're back at it, episode 6, and man, a lot happened just today. Not even the 2 weeks we missed, just today alone. Dusty May leaving. We got Giannis possibly be traded. Hopefully he gets traded.
Not possibly. It's happening.
It's going to happen.
We got some NBA draft talk, a little bit of everything. But fellas, who's ready for ice-breaking questions of the week?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Question 1, guys. What is the best sports stadium or arena you ever been to outside of the Cincinnati area?
I guess I can go first because I really haven't been to much. I've been to Ohio State, been to Notre Dame. That's like really the only 2 I could really think of, to be honest. Kind of lame. But I'm going to have to say Notre Dame, honestly. Every time I go down there, it's like, I don't know, the vibes down there, especially in the fall. You got like the fall leaves and stuff. It's just different from everything else I've been to. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but the vibe down there, it's borderline magical, if not magical. It's crazy. I love down there. Notre Dame, I have to say Notre Dame. It's historic.
It's a great pool.
I agree with Brady with Notre Dame. I went down there in November, and it was cold, rainy, freezing, but I loved it. I'm also going to go a different answer here as well, just kind of to be unique. Wrigley Field, honestly. Just there's like you could like as soon as you walk into the building there, you can feel the history. You're like, we walked to Wrigley Field when we went. Like you're just walking through neighborhoods, and the next thing you see is a ballpark. Like I just think the history and the atmosphere of Wrigley Field. I'm saying this as a Reds fan too. I loved it.
Those are 2 great answers. I've also been to Notre Dame and Ohio State Stadium, but I've been to Fenway Park twice, and that place is just like baseball heaven. The atmosphere is insane, and it's just you have to go to Fenway Park if you're a baseball fan. Just seeing the Green Monster, you just get that smell of the hot dogs grilling. It's that old stadium. They have a nice little outside area. It's so completely different from I've been to Great American Ballpark. I've been to the Brewer Stadium, where else? Cleveland. It's so different, and it's not the most comfortable ballpark by any means. The seats are still the same. Yeah, the seats are still the same seats they've had since they built the ballpark. But being a baseball guy, that stadium breaks all that. And Fenway Park is just an absolute, it's amazing. It's amazing. But question 2, this is going to be a fun one. I'm excited for this one. Would you rather, A, your favorite team wins a championship this season, but then has a losing season for the next 10 years, or B, your team loses for 10 straight years, but then wins 5 championships over the next following 10 seasons?
I'll start with this one here.
Okay.
This is a hard one, but
yeah.
I was reading this when I was like, before we filmed this, and I'm like, honestly, I gotta go option B. I would rather watch my team suffer for long and have us get a period to where we're like building a dynasty and have those 10 years be the build up to that dynasty than just win immediately and then just have the satisfaction of losing for the next 10 straight years. Like, just imagining, like, kind of like with the Bengals a little bit. Like, you made it to the Super Bowl, and then the next few years we've done nothing besides an AFC Championship game appearance. That's kind of how it is with the Bengals right now.
Yeah, I'm with you, Vince. I went option B too. It would be so nice to know you're guaranteeing a championship this coming season. You're going to get it. But, like, 10 years is so long, and I would rather wait 10 years to see 5 championships in the next following 10 years than see 10 straight losing seasons. I mean, that would be horrible. I would reconsider myself as a sports fan if I saw that. But Brady, what about you, man? You going option A, or are you going? You sticking with me, Vince?
I think B is the obvious answer here, personally. You know, obviously, I mean, I feel like as a fan, Notre Dame, Baltimore, the teams that I root for, they really haven't won a chip, and it feels like 10 years. Cleveland Cavaliers were the last one. That was 10 years ago. But I guess I can wait.
I've seen a team win a championship, man. You're lucky.
Yeah, I guess I can wait it out.
I have never either, man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've been doing it our whole life. So, I mean, when that time comes and you win, you know, those 5 out of 10 championships, like, you're going to be known as like that team pretty much. So I think it's a clear choice. Like, you can have way more national titles. Let's say like for the Bearcats or Notre Dame or whatever college team you want. You could have like add 5 more to your trophy case or add 1 more and then be doubtful for the rest. You know what I mean? So I think it's clear.
Yeah, I could see the people being like, hey, like, if I'm going to win a championship this season, like, if the Knicks didn't win the championship this season, I think Knicks fans would choose option A over anything. But yeah, man, I like option B. I can't see 10. Yeah, I can't see 10 straight losing years. But that's ice-breaking questions of the week. Before we get into our main topics, I want to say that we are not doing a hot take this week simply because we missed last week and we got a lot to discuss in a short time frame here, so we want to get it all in. But, fellas, let's get in the biggest news of the day. This came out of not even left field. It came out of the stadium. Dusty May is leaving the national champions, University of Michigan, to be the head coach of the Dallas Mavericks. Initial reactions when you got that notification, guys?
It was totally unexpected, in my opinion. I was actually in a truck with a Michigan fan, and I told him, he was like, there's no way. He thought it was fake, and say he was not happy. But I did not expect that, to be honest. I know the Mavericks needed a coach. I did not expect they would hire Michigan's head coach, and nor did I think Dusty May was even going to go with them, just because I believe he was there for 2 years, I believe.
2.
And like, I feel like you would write it out a bit longer. I feel that's a little weird, but he left, so it's crazy.
Yeah. Vince, what about you, man, when you saw that notification?
When I kind of saw this, I kind of thought this is the second time a Michigan coach has left after winning it all. Which, it's happened twice. Also, too, I kind of thought of like, the second thing is this going to become a trend, seeing like these big time college coaches dip to the NBA, because a lot of these guys don't want to have to deal with the current state of the NIL and the transfer portal. If I think I had to go with a hot take this week, it would probably be something about that, because I think there's a lot of coaches who may see if they get a job in like the NBA, take it because they don't have to deal with the NIL and the transfer world and every transfer portal and everything that's just overall changing with college basketball.
I was literally going to hit on that, Vince. That's crazy because it's crazy because I'm going to pull this tweet up first before I get into what I said, just because Vince, you mentioned it. So Jeff Goodman, one of my favorite people to follow in the college basketball landscape, he said, and I quote, "One source very close to Dusty May on the main reasons he left Michigan for the NBA. Number one, the state of college basketball, not knowing what it's going to look like tomorrow, in a month, or in 5 years. And number two, you get Coach Cooper flag. And I'm scared, man. I'm scared for the college landscape simply because of that, of him leaving, because he's worried about the landscape. Like, we had a great conversation in the last podcast about the NCAA and its mistrials and everything. And I don't know, man, because I think Dusty May is he's such a great coach. He's such a great coach. But little points I want to go over first. Michigan will have Mike Boynton Jr., assistant coach, be the interim head coach for this season. They named him right away when the news dropped. I thought that was kind of interesting. It sounds like they were kind of prepared for this moment in a way. And I found it interesting, too. Jeff Goodman from the Field of 68, he did an interview with Dusty May a couple of days ago. And Dusty May voiced his frustrations with the college landscape. And that was like 4 or 5 days ago. So it's crazy to see how quickly everything unfolded. But I want to turn this back to Michigan, guys. They just won the national championship. They had Yaxel and Lindenberg, Elliot Godot, this elite roster. And they're just starting summer workouts, and they find out their coach is leaving. I want to know, if you're a Michigan fan, what's going through your mind right now if you're a Michigan fan?
Personally, if I'm a Michigan fan, I'm not happy at all. I feel like this is pretty bad for Michigan, and that's my opinion. But the Wolverines, they honestly look like a preseason national title contender, and I feel like a Big Ten favorite heading into the 26-27 season. And now with their coach gone, you could possibly lose recruits and a bunch of stuff. Whenever a coach leaves in college, no matter what sport, there's always, I feel like, going to be something going on behind the scenes with people leaving because, you built that connection. Not
to interrupt you, but these players have 5 days and then they can enter the transfer portal.
Yeah, the transfer portal window opens.
So I'm interested, but keep on going, man.
And I feel like, players now, they have a decision to make, like we kind of just said right there. And coaching uncertainty could impact the roster. And the Michigan's administration, they have to focus on, I think, keeping the roster together right now. And I don't know if they're going to, keep their head coach right now with Mike Boynton, but, who knows? But I just think, I don't know. I don't like it for a Michigan fan. If I'm a Michigan fan, I'm upset about this. So
I would be super worried as a Michigan fan right now. But I don't know. I have a couple of thoughts. But Vince, man, you're a Michigan fan. You're sitting in your room and you see this. What's going through your head?
Oh, I'm pissed. You hire a guy who had a lot of success in the G5 level with FAU 2 years ago. A guy who probably would not have been there if in the first round game against Memphis, they didn't make a shot. Thought I had mentioned that. And then he goes off into the NBA. I would be pissed. This coach just won a national championship with you, and now he's running off to, the pros. I mean, and also too, it kind of screws you over because this is happening so late. I feel like in the process, knowing that in a few months, for nearly 4 months, guys, college basketball is starting up. And now you're going to have a transfer portal open, and now your players could leave, and what does that leave you with?
Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's crazy. And in my honest opinion, let's face it, the NIL money does not go away for these players. Those contracts are signed, sealed, delivered. They're still there. I think if I'm Michigan right now, I'm focused on returning your best player in Elliot Godot. He scored 20 against UConn in the national championship game. He averaged 10 points and 5 assists in the Big Ten. you got to do everything you can to keep him on that roster because he is your biggest piece. And then I'm also focusing on getting Trey McKinney back on the roster. He was a big piece for the national championships team last year. He was a freshman. He's going to be a sophomore, trying to make that sophomore year jump. I'm trying to get him back. And then the biggest guy who was played for the Bearcats last season, and when I say the biggest, I mean the tallest, Mufasa Cham, he was arguably the best big in the transfer portal. He probably got $4 or $5 million, maybe even $6. You got to do everything you can to keep Cham in the Michigan colors as an assistant coach. But like I said, like the NIL money, it's there. It's not leaving. The coach is just leaving, and we live in a landscape now that NIL is more important than the coach, if I'm being honest. So I don't know, man. I don't think a lot of players will enter. I do think we'll see some. But if I'm Michigan, man, I'm putting all my focus on Elliot Cadeau to really return and get him back on the roster. But, guys, I want to know, Dusty May, NBA draft is tomorrow. And the Dallas Mavericks have the number 9 pick, the 30th overall pick, and the 48th overall pick. He has a lot of work to do tonight, Dusty May.
Oh yeah.
I saw Yaxel Lindenberg mention, he should draft him to Dallas. Imagine him and Cooper Flagg together. I just don't know, man. What do you guys think about Dusty May to the Mavericks try to get off the Michigan side a little bit?
I think for Mavericks fans, I think it's good. We're going to have to see how he plays out in the NBA. I've seen that they try to get Duke's head coach as well. That could have been a crazy reunion, him, Cooper Flagg again. But yeah, I just think if you're a Michigan fan, devastating. Mavericks fan, this is great. Great opportunity. Jason Kidd left, so we'll see how it plays out.
Vince?
I think if I'm a Mavericks fan, I'd be excited about this, especially knowing that you had a great college coach coming in to work with Cooper Flagg. I think this is just an exciting opportunity here for Mavs fans to kind of get back onto like the good side of things after everything that's happened to them for the last past 2 seasons.
Yeah, I would be jumping up and down if I was a Mavericks fan right now because I really do think Dusty May is one of the best coaches, arguably probably the best. He did it at FAU. He went to the Final Four coaching FAU, who was a Group of 5 team at the time. You get that chance to coach Cooper Flagg. I mean, you got to take it, and knowing how much he was worried about the landscape, you just got to take the jump. And the timing just sucks, in my opinion, for Michigan.
Yeah.
Summer workouts are starting, like I mentioned, and the season, Vince, like you said, it's about 4 months away, and it sucks. It sucks. But for Michigan, guys, watch out for the name Josh Schwartz, head coach of St. Louis right now. He was a big name in this head coaching carousel, but he decided to stay at St. Louis, got a new contract. I think Mike Boynton will stay the coach for this season. It's too late to hire a new coach right now.
Yeah,
after the season, look out for Josh Schwartz, Michigan head coach.
I think with how everything's lined up in the college landscape now, it's absolutely too late for them to hire someone, but a perfect time for them to kind of scout someone and see who would be that perfect fit to be their next coach.
I would also watch out. Billy Donovan, I think, could be a really great piece for them. He was rumored to take North Carolina's job, but they went after the Nuggets head coach, Mike Malone. But I don't know, man. This was crazy. My jaw was on the floor when I saw this news. You guys got any closing thoughts on this, Brady?
Nah. I do think, though, with the assistant head coach, taking over the spot for Michigan, he does have previous coaching experience, though. At Oklahoma State, he spent the last 2 seasons, helping build Michigan's elite defense that they have now. And I think, obviously he has those relationships with the current roster right now. And I think, if players just stick it out, I don't think it's going to be that bad for Michigan personally. That's kind of a hot take for me. But, being in that head coaching position, you never know what's going to happen from that, change.
Yeah. Vince, any closing thoughts, man? Dusty May?
I think you all covered it.
I also think, Brady, too, the systems in place, you got an assistant coach staying there. I don't know how many other assistants will be staying, but the systems in place, you just got to retain those guys, man. Ellie Cadeau is the biggest name to watch out if you're a Michigan fan. But, man, what a crazy breaking news today. I was at work, and I was
Yeah.
had my phone in my pocket when it happened, and I pulled it out. I'm like,
I seen it immediately.
I was like, wow.
I
It
was
was
waiting for you to see
crazy.
it.
The New York Knicks are NBA champions. That happened while we were gone. Game 5. The Knicks beat the Spurs in San Antonio 94-90. Huge win for New York, but the NBA, in my opinion. Guys, what was your thoughts, man, the New York Knicks winning that championship?
Vince.
I was surprised, I feel like, with it at first, because I know like we were kind of saying like the Spurs, it was like Spurs, and I think I said Spurs in 6, I think.
I said
2 weeks
Spurs
ago.
in 7.
Yeah, we were all kind of, because we all thought the Western Conference was strong.
Yeah.
And also the Spurs had a decent amount of rest coming off of that, that series, the final series, I think, if I'm not mistaken, with Cleveland. Yeah, Cleveland. They came off that series. Were well rested, ready to go, and they came out and just exploded. Great work there. Game 4, that huge comeback they had, like in New York, like that was freaking crazy. But I think it was a great win for them, and Knicks fans can finally rejoice knowing they've won a title after 53 years.
Brady, what about you, man? Seeing New York finally break the New York curse.
Yeah, unfortunately, I guess we do not know ball. Pretty embarrassing. I've been doing terrible with my picks in this entire playoffs. But I mean,
it happens to the best of us, buddy.
Yeah, it's
we're not ball knowers on this show.
Yeah,
basketball, but yeah, man. New York is a city of champions once again. What a moment for the fans, even though they did some questionable things. Topic for another time.
We could talk about that. Later.
But this is honestly one of the biggest moments in New York sports this century. Absolutely massive. Jalen Brunson, insane. The captain, man. What do you got?
I think, dude, the NBA, this is such a big win for the NBA because New York City is such a big market, and the Knicks are just one of its big teams, and it's been in the dumpster for a very, very, very long time. And for them to win the championship, man, the NBA is rejoicing. And shout out Jalen Brunson, like Brady said. That man had 45 points in this game in 41 minutes. 45 points. 41 minutes. He shot 4 and 7 from 3. That he said, "Hey, let me put that ring on my finger right now," and he did it. What are your guys' thoughts, man? Jalen Brunson, New York. I think we talked about it one time about where does Jalen Brunson rank in New York, like athletes? What do you guys think about Jalen Brunson, man, and his performance in this game?
Jalen Brunson is a dog. I was watching him, dude. I was like, how was he making some of the shots he was making? Like, it was insane. But, he averaged over 32 points a game during the finals. And obviously, in the championship clinching game 5, he had 45 points and was named, obviously, finals MVP. He deserves it. I think he honestly, after like this entire playoffs, he's up there possibly top 5 players in the league, to be honest. Like, I don't like for his height too. Like, you don't see a lot of people doing that stuff, and he is unbelievable. And I think this title validates everything the front office in New York built around Jalen Brunson. So,
I want to get back to what you just said about his height, because you look at him and he is not that average size NBA point guard, but the way he has such a great, I don't know what the best word is, like a feel for the court and the NBA and the style. He has such a great layup that get to the bucket. He could just get around defenders. He knows what he's doing. He does a little like bump fade when he gets in the paint and he floats it up there. That's probably his best move. But I want to ask you guys, I was thinking about this today, and I think this is still a big offseason for the Knicks to retain success, retain the championships. There are 3 key free agents this offseason is Mitchell Robinson, Jose Alvarado, and Landry Shamet. And they draft number 24, number 31, and number 55 in the draft. Out of those 3 free agents, let's talk about that first. Who would you resign? And in my opinion, I'm resigning Mitchell Robinson. He's been that New York Knicks player for a long time. He got that game-winning rebound in the Game 5. I would do anything and everything to get Mitchell Robinson back in the orange and blue. What about you guys?
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, Zach. There, just get him back and get how he did in the finals and getting that game-winning rebound. I think your big thing is to resign him.
Brady, what about you, man?
Shamit and Jose are both new players on this new Knicks team. So Mitchell Robinson, he's been there since his career started. I feel like you got to keep him a Knick, and he can get boards, can lay it up. I feel like that's a great guy. I don't know if you guys also saw they released pictures. Have you guys seen this injury on his pinky he had?
No, I haven't seen the pictures. I know he had an injury.
Yeah, there's a picture. His bone was literally out of his finger. It was disgusting. Yeah.
Wow. But man, it's a big offseason for the Knicks. You got to retain that success, and
you have to.
They have the number 31 overall pick, and we'll talk about it later. But Baba Miller out of Cincinnati, that would be the best pick for the New York Knicks, and I'll explain why later. But let's shift directions to the San Antonio Spurs for a little bit. Obviously, they didn't have the finals they wanted to, but they still have a core to run back. They got Wemby, Fox, Castle, and Harper returning. And watching this finals, in my opinion, I don't think Wemby played his best series in this finals. But Wemby's best is him averaging 26 points, 11 rebounds, 3 blocks per game. You know what I'm saying? So he has so much room to improve. He is such a young player still. And I kind of want to discuss this with you guys. I think this will be a fun discussion. The Spurs have 2 very young guards in Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle. To talk about Dylan Harper, he made an impact in this finals. I mean, he did anything and everything on the court. De'Aaron Fox did not have the best final series. Had that stupid play in New York. I think it was game 4. If you're the Spurs, would you try to move De'Aaron Fox this offseason and put all your focus on Dylan Harper being the starter, or would you keep De'Aaron Fox? Brady, I want to ask you, what do you think about that?
Personally, me, I wouldn't. Before going into this series too, there was talk with De'Aaron Fox being injured. So I think he was like somewhat halfway injured. He wasn't completely at 100%. And even if he was still just coming off of kind of getting hurt. So I wouldn't really he's still a great player. Obviously it wasn't his series, but he is, like I just said, coming off of the injury. So I think you kind of got to give him that. But yeah. I would keep him personally. I think Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, and De'Aaron Fox all still play well with each other. So,
see, I'm not saying he's a bad player, but you got a guy like Dylan Harper who is so young and made such a big impact in this finals, where it's like, at least let me see Dylan Harper start over Fox to start the season next season. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think De'Aaron Fox would fit way much better in that 6-man role. Dylan Harper might be one of the best guards coming up this season. That might be a hot take for him.
Right?
He is so good. He has such a great feel for the game. He reminds me like Kyrie, like I mentioned a couple podcasts ago. But Vince, what about you, man? When you got 2 young guards like Harper and Castle, what do you do with De'Aaron Fox?
I mean, when you got, again, 2 young guards, I mean, you want to see what they can do, what potential they have. I mean, if you want to go for that youth, you always can deal off or release De'Aaron Fox. If you want that experience and you also want those young guys to learn under him, I think it's probably best they keep him or they put him in like a supporting role and let the younger guys start.
I
don't know, man.
I think it should be Fox at the point, Harper shooting guard, Stephon Castle, small forward, because I believe he's 6'6". He could easily play small forward. I think he has.
Yeah.
And then,
he just doesn't have a big frame. I don't know.
I think
it could work though. I'm not gonna say it won't work.
I mean, it has worked. They won, 62 games.
But what they really need is a true power forward. They need a true 4 because they had Vessel starting at the 4, and it just I don't know, it looked weird. And I think a 4 would help a Wemby out so much. It would make him so much better. But I don't know, man. I think it's a big offseason for both teams, and I think we might see De'Aaron Fox in a trade package, just a proposed trade, for the Spurs to shop him around, see what they could get for him. But that's a little bit of the finals talks. And I want to say, man, Gotham City really did happen after the Knicks won the championship. I've been seeing videos everywhere. Brady, you mentioned it before about the stuff they did in the city. You want to kind of go over that a little bit?
Yeah, so I think if you watch basketball, Knicks fans, I think a lot of us expected them to break stuff and whatnot, but I think a lot of people did not expect them to, attack other people just because of the jersey they were wearing. I think that was crazy when that was coming out.
Yeah,
I was just watching videos of like just normal people walking, like they weren't doing anything, and they just got attacked. And there's this one dude, like literally just like a middle-aged man, just walking with a Tim Duncan jersey on, and he started getting his jersey pulled, and then people started swinging on him. He tried to run away, but then he realized it was either like fight now or like you have to fight pretty much.
You gotta fight.
He was surrounded, so he started swinging. But like, it gets to a point, man. You can't go after somebody just because of the team they like. Like I don't. There's a massive line that's being crossed at that point.
They took Gotham City a little too serious.
They needed Batman.
Vince, did you see the school bus getting burnt?
I did see that, yeah, because they had the school buses set up for the World Cup. I did see that.
That was crazy. And then you
I
had
saw
the guy.
Wasn't there like a guy with the Spurs, like who basically was like fighting like 10 Knicks fans at once and then won that fight?
I think I've seen that.
So much stuff happened.
There's a lot happened. We missed a lot this week.
That was crazy. I mean, I'm trying to think like the guy that I think he OD'd on top of a subway station, and Knicks fans like went on top and they were able to get him down and everything. They helped him out and they got a stretcher. So, hey, praise Knicks fans. They actually, they did something right. Like I said, the school bus got burnt on fire.
Mm-hmm.
So much stuff happened in New York City when they won that championship. But Ed, listen, if I was a fan, I wouldn't do all the violence, but I would be celebrating like crazy. And I want to shout out the guy who was streaming the game off a projector on the building.
I've seen that
guy. That guy, listen, if you're watching this, you could be a guest on our show anytime, any day. But that's a little finals talks, guys. What a great series. What a great series for the New York Knicks. And I'm excited to see what happens this offseason. But before we get into our next segment, I want to give a little Cincinnati Reds update. It is tied 0-0 in the top of the ninth with the Milwaukee Brewers. The Reds just got off a nice series, beating the New York Yankees in a series, and now they're trying to beat the top dog in the Milwaukee Brewers. So
I'm surprised when I checked in on that game. Singer's actually done decent tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
he has a rough season.
Yeah, he's had a rough year, but he's actually doing pretty well tonight. So maybe this is a turning point for Singer.
Yeah. So if you guys are watching, we'll keep you live with that. But let's get into our next topic. Giannis Antetokounmpo is getting traded.
He is.
It's just a matter of when.
Brady, I want you to
be
take
before the
away.
draft. It's going to be before that first pick. I literally have Shams up right now because I heard it could happen literally any minute either. I believe the deal's already done. It just hasn't came out to the public because Giannis Antetokounmpo did post on Instagram 3 hours ago, and he posted a picture of himself. I can show you guys right here. The caption reads, "God, I trusted you at the beginning, and I will continue to trust you throughout." I believe the deal already happened. It's just not out to the public yet, and I'm waiting. I literally have Shams' Twitter up right now, just waiting to see if something happens. But I believe he's going to be a Celtic personally. I read some about. I think this is another chance where the Heat are just going to fumble another big trade where they back out. They've done it multiple times, and I believe it was something with like something with the draft capital and like their salary cap. They didn't want to do it. And I think right now it's looking very much it's going to happen for him going to the Celtics because also Jaylen Brown, it's being told that now the Celtics want him out or he wants out of the Celtics organization, which is I did not expect that at all given the season he just had either. So I think it's going to be weird seeing, Brown in a Milwaukee jersey if that does happen. But if Giannis is not getting traded to Boston, just expect Jaylen Brown to be going somewhere as well.
Yeah.
So NBA is going to shake up.
I just don't know how well Jaylen Brown and Giannis Antetokounmpo could play with each other, in my opinion.
You mean Tatum?
Yeah, Tatum. I'm sorry. Yeah, Tatum and Giannis together. I think their games are kind of similar. Obviously, Giannis is bigger, taller, more athletic, but they have similar styles. They have the same feel for the court, and I just don't know how well that's going to be. I don't know. I know you said Jaylen Brown wants out of Boston, but I don't know how you can blow up that nucleus of Brown and Tatum when they proved that they could go win a championship because they did it. And Giannis, let's be like, yes, he's a great player. He went and won a championship, but he's 30 years old. He's 31 actually. Like he's getting up there in age. And Jaylen Brown's 29, still young, still in his prime. I don't understand the meaning behind this trade. Vince, what about you, man?
Yeah, it's I think probably either Boston or Miami, like Brady said. I just think it's inevitable at this point. I think they're waiting. NBA drafts tomorrow, June 23rd, and I think it's probably going to happen. I would bet you like morning, early afternoon. They're just waiting to release it, I think, at this point.
So I want to ask you guys, if this trade did happen, let's just say let me put down it's Giannis for Jaylen Brown straight up, a 1-for-1 deal. Who do you guys think wins that trade if we're just talking about it in a wide perspective?
I would honestly, I would say Milwaukee, to be honest. I think Giannis has some injury issues recently. But when he's at his peak, he's obviously amazing. But the season Jaylen Brown just had, like if he can continue that, and he was actually live streaming today on Twitch, and he had said that he's gonna, I guess, turn into a monster. He said something like that. He heard like about all this stuff with the front office, Boston, and the fans, what people are saying. He says he's gonna try to turn into a monster. He's gonna try to be the villain. So I don't know. I don't know if that's corny or what.
Yeah,
but
that's a little weird.
Yeah.
Brady's been mentioning how much of a big season Jaylen Brown had. He averaged 28.7 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, 5 assists, 1 steal per game, and he shot 47% from the field. That's insane.
Stepped up big when
that's big.
I just don't know, man. I would agree with Brady. I think Milwaukee would win this trade. But Vince, what about you?
Yeah, I agree with you both. I think Milwaukee wins it. Giannis has obviously been having the injury issues. I think if it is a straight up Jaylen Brown, I think Milwaukee wins it easy.
But listen, stay here for that. Brady, what do you got?
Yeah, man. I don't know. It's just crazy. The Celtics are right now. I think it's going to happen just because the Celtics it came out. They're all in on getting Giannis. So I think it's going to happen. I think they're going to have to give up probably Luka Garza, some other people in that deal as well, just because I don't think the money would even out if it was a 1-for-1 deal.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it could possibly happen. I think honestly it will happen tonight. I don't know what time because I feel like the deal's already done with that post Giannis made. It's very cryptic.
Yeah, please let it happen while we're filming right now.
Or afternoon. Yeah, we're trying to drag it out a little bit.
Yeah.
If not, I see it afternoon tomorrow. It's 100% happening before the first pick tomorrow. So be ready, guys. This is a massive NBA shift, just shifter for the entire league.
It's gonna shift the whole NBA. Giannis being moved, Jaylen Brown being moved, and listen, NBA offseason is one of the most entertaining off seasons out of all the 3 big sports in the MLB, NFL, NBA. But that's it, man. A little trade chaos. Stay tuned for that. Let's hope some news breaks while we're filming. Before we get into our next segment, I want to also give out a little breaking news that came out today. Trae Young agrees to a 4-year, $212 million contract with the Washington Wizards today. And that kind of leads into our next segment. The NBA draft is tomorrow night. First round is tomorrow. Second round is Wednesday. Guys, this class, it's loaded. It's insane with talent. Some of the top names, AJ DeBansa, Darren Peterson, Cameron Boozer, Caleb Wilson, Keaton Wagler, Darius Acuff Jr., Nate Ament, Braden Burries, Mikael Brown Jr. Dude, there are so many. All those guys could go number 1, in my opinion, if they were in other drafts. And that's 10 guys right there. And let me pull this up real quick and we can go over it. a little mock draft. They got AJ going 1, Peterson going 2, Boozer going 3. I think that's locked in for stone. The for 1, 2, 3. I think. Listen, we're going to talk about it, but I think Darren Peterson is the best player in this draft. You got other names like Kingston Flemings. I didn't even mention. He was a dog for Houston. You got
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yaxel Lindenberg going 13, and he just won a national championship last season. You got Koa P out of Arizona going 28. Like Joshua Jefferson out of Iowa State, he's a dog. Cameron Carr out of Baylor, dude. So many great names, guys. And what player sticks out for you guys in this draft? Let me know.
I like Caleb Wilson. I watched a couple UNC games throughout the college basketball season. I kind of like what he did, so I think he's going to be someone who I'm probably going to like look out for and think who's going to have probably a well-rounded career in the NBA.
Brady, what about you, man? You got a player you like?
I don't know. I like them all, to be honest. There's so many good players in this draft.
I was gonna say,
yeah, there is.
Yeah, there's some players that I would like to see go to a certain team with their picks. Like I feel like Cameron Boozer to the Jazz would be good. I feel like, pairing Boozer with a front court of Lauri Markkanen and Jaren Jackson Jr., I think that gives the Jazz like a very good size and like great size advantage. And then I feel like the basketball IQ on that team would be good too. I don't know. I think, there's some dream draft fits I have, but like pretty much almost everybody in this draft, all the top ones, they're great.
Dude, there's just I don't know what else to say, man, because this class is just loaded. Kingston Flemings, I mean, he was not even one of the top prospects I mentioned, and he is an absolute dog. He was a freshman for Houston. He's a guy who could defend, go get you a bucket. He could kind of do it all, but I want to have a debate, and I think this has been a big debate in the draft talk. Darren Peterson versus AJ Dembele, number 1 pick. I think the favorite right now is AJ to go number 1 to the Washington Wizards. I have an argument why Darren Peterson should be the number 1 pick in this draft, but I want to hear from you guys. Who do you think should be number 1?
I personally feel like I think it's going to be AJ going number 1, but I feel like Darren's a good player. I think at his peak he is better than AJ, but I don't know. There's a lot of the stuff last season at Kansas with, leaving games early, whatnot.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think if he is committed to playing this game at his full potential, I think he can end up being better than AJ.
Vince, what about you, man? When you look at these two players, they both come from the Big 12. If you're an organization, who are you choosing to rebuild?
I think I'm picking Dembele. I agree with Brady. I think with his talking points he has, I think Peterson's more that like well-rounded prospect, but I just like Dembele, man. He's a dog, and I think he's probably going to end up getting that number 1 overall pick.
All right, so let me sell you guys on why Darren Peterson should be the number 1 pick. You know me, I've watched a lot of Big 12 basketball. I saw AJ Dembele live at Fifth Third Arena when he played the University of Cincinnati. I watched Darren Peterson when UC beat him in Kansas. Darren Peterson is like Kobe Bryant 2.0, in my opinion. This dude is a pure scorer. He could go get you a bucket anytime he wanted. He could score at all 3 levels. He averaged 20 points in the Big 12. 20. And think about the great players in the Big 12. Like AJ was in the Big 12. Kingston Flemings was in the Big 12. Koa Pete was in the Big 12. He's 6'5", nearly 200 pounds. He could finish through contact. That's probably his greatest strength of his game. He's a very underrated defender, in my opinion. He could guard 1 through 3, sometimes the 4, in opinion. He's just at true bucket getter. And I think for the Washington Wizards, let alone, I want a guy who I can focus and rebuild. And you just re-signed Trae Young. I want to solidify that 1 and 2 spot. Pairing up Darren Peterson with Trae Young, I think that would be unstoppable for the Wizards. And then I would be like, hey, I got Peterson, I got Young. Just figure out the rest. And I'm not knocking AJ Debinsa at all. Like, he is the perfect modern NBA small forward in this game. He's also a dude who go get you a bucket. He's way more athletic than Darren Peterson, but I just don't know, man. I saw AJ play live. I've seen him play a lot of times, and I think he's going to take a little bit longer to transition to the NBA level than Peterson will, simply because he's more of that athletic, stocky guy. But there's so many of those in the NBA, and I think he's going to have, I wouldn't say a rough time, but it's going to be a hard transition for AJ. But man, if I'm the Washington Wizards, I'm leaning towards Darren Peterson 100%.
Oh, yeah.
What are you guys thoughts on what I just said?
I hear you, man.
No, you have some good points. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think a lot of these dudes are coming from the Big 12, like Peterson, Kansas, Debinsa, BYU, Koa Pete, Arizona, Kingston Flemings, Houston. Dude, the Big 12 was loaded last season.
It was.
A couple other prospects I want to throw out. Vince mentioned Caleb Wilson. That dude is an animal.
Absolutely.
Cameron Boozer might be the most well-rounded player in this draft, and I want to talk about him a little bit. Would you guys be shocked if we're looking back in 3 years and saying, wow, Cameron Boozer was the best player in this draft?
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't be shocked.
I wouldn't say either because of the amount of talent in this draft, like you really don't know. To be honest, you just don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then one of my second favorite players in this draft is Darius Acuff Jr. This guy, God, what's the Arkansas coach name? Why am I blanking? Calipari. He's mentioned how much he loves Darius Acuff Jr. And the Chicago Bulls better go get Darius Acuff.
I was just about to say I would love to see him on the Bulls.
Because he reminds me of Derrick Rose a little bit. He's that guy that you want to build your franchise around. Acuff is this all-level three scorer. He kind of plays like Peterson a little bit. I would say he's more aggressive, but Brady, like you agree with me. Wouldn't you think the Chicago Bulls would be the perfect pick for a guy like Darius Acuff?
Yeah, I think so. I think also pairing his scoring with Josh Giddey, I think that gives Chicago just a dynamic backcourt. I think they would work very well together. So I would love to see that.
I mean, Vince, a guy like Darius Acuff could go into Chicago and flip that organization because let's face it, I don't want to say since Jordan because they had Derrick Rose for a couple years, but after Derrick Rose, the Chicago Bulls have been absolutely nothing.
They've done nothing really. The only thing they've really done is play in tournaments every year at the end of the year. That's
I would go get Acuff. Because that dude is a bucket getter.
Oh, yeah.
Similar to Peterson a little bit, just a little different. But, man, I would love to see that fit. To you guys, who's an underrated prospect in this NBA draft? Do you guys have any?
I think Chris Sinak Jr., I think he's pretty underrated. I don't know if that's underrated or not, but
no, that's
I think he was great for Houston, and I honestly would like him to go to the Nuggets. I think that would be a great fit for him. Call me crazy because Jokic is there, but I think Jokic having that little sidekick in Chris Sinak, I think that would be pretty good, especially for their interior defense. Like they would.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That guy's good too, man. That guy's very, very good too.
Yes.
Vince, what about you, man?
I think with the guy you mentioned, kind of given like the Derrick Rose comparisons too, I think he's going to be very underrated and could do great things. He could do great things on wherever he ends up.
Yeah, I hope he goes to Chicago, but you guys already know who I think the most underrated player in this draft is. Let me sell you on Baba Miller out of the University of Cincinnati. Let me sell you guys on this guy real quick. He's 6'11" with a 7'1" wingspan. He is if you need a power forward in the NBA, he's your guy. He's a true NBA forward. He does everything from scoring to passing to especially rebounding. He averaged 13 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, and 3.7 assists. That is crazy numbers for a four, especially averaging 10 rebounds in the Big 12. One of his key stats, he had 21 rebounds against Lipscomb. Me and Brady were at that game, and I know it's Lipscomb, but then he had 17 rebounds against Baylor in the Big 12. That's insane. This guy, I think the biggest knock on Bobo right now was his 3-point shooting percentage at Cincinnati. He shot 25%, but the season prior at FAU when he was there, he shot 35%. So he proven he could shoot the 3 ball. It's just, I don't know, man. Fifth Third Arena has some weird curse. I don't know what it is, but Bobo Miller, man, his passing, he is an elite passer. He had a couple like cross court passes. You could look back in the Kansas game. He had elite passes during that game. And like I said, man, his rebounding is just – it's insane. It's insane. He's a guy who can just get over the top and go get a board. He could guard 1 through 5. He could play 1 through 5. His dribbling on the court, it's insane. He has a great feel for the game. And he's projected to go, like, I think late first, early second.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be surprised if he's like one of the last picks in the first round just because of how good he is. He did very good at the NBA Combine. He had like 20 points in one of the games. Watch out for Bobo Miller because I think that guy is very, very good, and I could see him in a New York Knicks uniform. I could see him in a San Antonio Spurs uniform. I can really see him in the Indiana Pacers uniform. But Bobo Miller, man, you guys, being in the Cincinnati area, you've heard of him before. What do you guys think of Bobo Miller and his game and how that can translate to the NBA?
Yeah, you can start, Brady.
Yeah, I don't really keep up with him as much, but I did watch that Xavier game, and he was pretty solid. I mean, obviously didn't get the victory,
win, yeah.
Of course, but
yeah.
Yeah, and I've been to some Cincy games, and he's been solid. So yeah, I could see your points.
Yeah, I agree with what. Oh, my bad.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
No, yeah, I agree with both your points there. I think he could. I didn't really watch a lot of Cincinnati. I watched maybe 1 or 2 games, maybe, but I think he could have a good presence. And again, he could be a late first round pick that could end up becoming a very well-rounded NBA player. Again, yeah, I agree with what both of you guys said.
Yeah, he was kind of a late bloomer. He started his season at Florida State. He didn't really play that good. He went to FAU and had a growth spurt. He just redid his whole body. And then he went to Cincinnati, and Cincinnati's strength coach, Mike Ruffalo, is known as one of the best strength coaches in college basketball. He helped him a lot. And Bobo had a couple sinkers throughout the season, but when he was at his top, he was one of the best players, in my opinion, in the Big 12. So watch out for Bobo Miller in this NBA draft. Do you guys have anything else more NBA draft?
I think we covered it all.
No, but I do have a little update on the Giannis thing. Kind of breaking news, kind of not. But right now, it is being said that it's all Boston Celtics right now, not the Miami Heat, who are favorites to land Giannis in a trade.
Wow.
So it's pretty much almost, I don't know, any second now we could possibly hear him being announced to go to the Celtics, but apparently it is not the Heat. It is the Celtics like we were talking about. They are the favorites.
That's crazy. So it has to be Jaylen Brown, right?
It would have to be Jaylen Brown, yeah.
It has to be Jaylen Brown.
And it makes
I don't
sense
know who else.
Jaylen Brown was, they were talking about him being gone. So,
man, well, okay, so we have to drag this last segment out a little bit. Hopefully this news can break. But man,
well, I will give you a quick update on Tony Santion, man.
Yeah, not having the best season right now.
Brewers up 2-0 in the middle of the 10th. Reds kind of need a rally here if they want to try to get a win over Milwaukee. Milwaukee's been our kryptonite for the longest time, but again, Blade, Stewart, and Myers are due up for the Reds. Let's just see what happens here in this bottom of the 10th inning.
I have to say real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm on Twitter. I'm on Giannis. I'm on the latest, and people are trolls. People are talking about breaking Giannis Antetokounmpo on a train to London following a trade to Downing Street. People are talking about him getting traded to the LA Dodgers.
The Dodgers again making their signings.
I had to try to hold back a little laugh right there. I'm sorry.
That's crazy.
People are making a bunch of fake breakings.
Bro, I love NBA offseason. Like, NBA offseason is so entertaining. The free agents is all entertaining. The trades are entertaining. I think the NFL, bro, hot take, NBA offseason is more entertaining than the actual season, in my opinion. But, yeah, that's a little quick. Let's do a quick little Reds hit. I know this is kind of out of the order, but Vince talked about it. They had that great series against New York. You know, they took a couple games out there, and now they're losing again. The trade deadline's coming up. Vince, do you think they're buyers or they're sellers at the deadline?
It really just depends on how they perform. I think at this kind of like end stretch, this stretch, 10-game stretch, home against Milwaukee, you go to Pittsburgh, and you go to Milwaukee, is going to be a very important stretch. We're 2-13 against the division, and if this result stands, 2-14 against the division. Probably the worst in the MLB. And I honestly think this 10-game stretch can determine if the Reds are buyers or sellers. Look, we do great against teams from out of the division, but at the same time, like if we can't win games of the division, we're not going to make the playoffs. And I'm being brutally honest there. And if we can at least win 70% of these games, I think the Reds are going to be buyers at the deadline. If we can't, I don't see it. I just honestly don't see it. I think the Reds are going to either just stay put. They're honestly going to probably stay put, but I don't see them really getting rid of pieces at the deadline. But yeah, I don't think they're going to buy in unless they somehow do like have a good stretch against the division. And with this, if this result stands against Milwaukee, 2-14 in the division.
Yeah, Brady, before I ask you real quick, I want to mention I saw Nick Carroll say something along the lines of, let's just see how the season plays out. It's a long season, and, you know, we got some guys hurt right now, and that just makes me upset because I think as a guy, as a general manager in his position, you have to do anything and everything to make your team the best, do anything and everything to get your team at the top.
Right.
Obviously, it sounds like – I'm not going to say he doesn't care, but it sounds like that's not one of his biggest worries right now. And I know Ellie's out. I know Ellie's about to be back soon. But even with Ellie, this team is still – I'm still worried about this team. You know what I'm saying? But, Brady, you're looking at this Reds team. What worries you the most?
I would honestly probably have to say the pitching, and I would also have to bring up the injuries as well. Like, this is a very mid team right now, and if you want to make that stretch to, you know, play October baseball possibly – You gotta try to stay injury free, which obviously it's out of your hands a lot of the time. But you gotta do something, you know, to keep your players healthy. And like you said, you know, it doesn't seem like the manager cares that much. You gotta start caring about that because this is, you know, the season basically pretty much relies on this somewhat. So, and I think obviously at the deadline or before that, you got to go out and get a pitcher to save your season or possibly help you make that big jump and possibly make it into October baseball.
That's a little Reds quick hit. It's bottom of the 10th right now. They got a runner on third with one out. Sal Stewart's up the plate, so let's see what happens. But we're going to get into our last segment. It's kind of putting a bow on this. You know, it's the end of a chapter. Brendan Sorsby, one of the biggest talking points, one of the biggest wild stories in this college football offseason. He finally caves in. He finally feels the pressure, and he enters the NFL supplementary draft. I did a video on Sorsby a couple of days ago, and I mentioned that if I'm Brendan Sorsby, I do not want to be the guy that ruins college football. I don't want to be the guy that does that. And I don't know, man. It was such a wild story, and it was insane. It was insane. It says Sorsby's going to drop all the lawsuits now, but your guys' final thoughts on this?
I think it was the best decision for him to go in the draft. I think, you know, there's a lot of hate surrounding him, and if he's in college football, it's not going to be a good look, I feel like. So the draft was probably the best way out for him.
Vince, what about you?
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of bad PR surrounding Texas Tech. And really looking at this situation, there wasn't a way that Texas Tech could win at all. It's just, yeah, it was bad. And just, again, they did that like 20-minute PR stunt video. Like, yeah, no, I think there's just a lot of, like, I would say not good publicity. And there probably won't be a lot of good publicity heading into this season and probably for the next year. But yeah, no, I didn't think Texas Tech saw a way in winning this, and they just said, okay, yeah, no, it's gonna keep getting.
Yeah, but hey, it was all Sorsby's fault. He started this mess, and props to him for finishing it and just putting a close to this chapter, man. It was a crazy story, and I'm gonna remember this story for a long time because you don't hear stuff like this. But our last segment, little UFC 250 at the White House. Brady, take this one away, my man.
Yeah, man. So UFC, you know what I'm saying? Freedom 250 at the Town of Malley merch. Little corner ball. So, hey, if you watched it, I don't think any of you did. That was probably one of the best UFC events I've ever watched. I don't know if any of you guys saw videos either of like that flyover when they started it. Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna lie, I had straight goosebumps.
Aura.
But every fight ended in a KO or TKO, and the last one was a doctor stoppage, pretty much. And it was Ilyich Topuria pretty much just quit. He had very bad cuts. Justin Gaethje with an absolutely insane upset. A lot of people did not see. And honestly, I don't think we're ever going to see a White House UFC event again. But an event that was like where it was, it couldn't have been much better. Like literally, I talked about it on TikTok, and people were talking about how they said it was the best. And every fight was just pure cinema. The walkouts were crazy. Justin Gaethje had one of the most craziest walkouts I've ever seen, where he started off reading that the Constitution, and then you had his music playing, and then he made that walk. Oh my gosh, everything about it was great. So
much aura, man. So much aura.
It was insane. But sorry, Zach's having some Wi-Fi issues, by the way, guys.
Yeah, I was yapping too much about NBA and ID.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi issues. It's going to be very interesting to see how this comes out.
Let's hope it turns out good, because I
think it will.
It's just the last part when you start talking about Cincinnati baseball.
No, was it good? Was it good for the NBA draft?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it's been so. Like, there's been stretches of it where it's been decent, and then stretches of it where it's just like, no, the last part, like after you turned your camera back on, you like your whole screen was just your face. It was completely black, bro, on my end. Oh,
God. All right, well, we got technical difficulties.
All right, we gotta lock it. We gotta lock back in.
But getting back to the UFC 250 event, I really didn't watch any of the matches, but I did watch the beginning of the event. Having Trump walk out of the White House with the music going, the lights going, there's a lot of it was awesome, man. The atmosphere looked awesome. The fans showed out. I was kind of worried about how the atmosphere would be, in my opinion, but it looked like it was amazing. Brady mentioned it. The fights, they said the fights were good. I saw a couple highlights. They looked amazing. Do you guys Brady mentioned it? Do you guys think we'll ever see this again? Do you think we'll see it in 5 years, 3 years, 10 years? Or will this be a one-time thing?
I think with you, I know TKO was talking with them about potentially doing a WWE event there. Like, I could see
would be crazy.
100%. That'd be
that would be crazy.
I think they should start doing stuff like this, but it doesn't need to be the White House like every single year. But again, kind of getting back to my original point, I could very much see TKO saying, "Hey, it worked with UFC. Why don't we try this with the WWE for like a special, like, like old, like tribute to the troops, kind of like pay-per-view type of thing, or seeing something like that." I think that could happen. But yeah, I mean, if it's not like an every year thing and doesn't get like washed out, I could see UFC doing this, but I could see him doing it something like this, like every 2 or 3 years. Brady, Zach.
Sorry, the Reds lost, by the way, guys, but I don't think it's gonna happen again. Dana White already said how it's most likely not going to happen again. They lost a lot of money to this UFC event with the amount of money they had to pay to do everything and set everything up. It was a whole lot. So I don't think it's going to happen again. I saw people talking about it being at the Coliseum. I think that would be cool. He said something about like $150 million, which I think, you get some, there's a lot of high-profile people that watch UFC. I think you could get that money. I think that would be insane if they did that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But if you guys did watch the event, and if you don't know who Ilya Taporia is, he was 17-0 going into this fight. I honestly thought he was going to win, but he got his first loss of his MMA career.
Wow.
And many analysts called it one of the biggest upsets in UFC history. So just in case you didn't know that, but it was crazy.
Crazy event at UFC 250. I'm very happy that was a success. One of the most hyped UFC events in a very long time. But man, that's it, man. Episode 6. You guys got anything else you'd like to talk about?
Wish Giannis straight happened, man.
I know you were like.
Let me drag this outro out a little longer.
Right.
That's it, man. We had a week off, but we are back. I don't think we are planning on any other weeks to be off, so we're gonna be on the grind every Monday. We're gonna stick to it. And watch out, man. We might have some special guests on the show here soon in the next month or so. Stay tuned for that. And again, like always, go follow us on all our socials, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TikTok, Instagram, X, Twitter. And please go scan this QR code right now in the top left corner of your screen. That will take you directly to our TikTok page. And go follow TikTok. We post a lot of content on TikTok. That's where we all right, guys. That's where we started. That's the beginning. That's where Brady and Vince started this thing up and built this thing all the way up. So again, scan the QR code. Follow us on the TikTok. Follow us on all these socials. We're gonna, like I said, man, we're grinding out content every week. We're gonna be talking about something, but that's it, man. I'm Zach. That is Brady. That is Vince, and that is the Nosebleed Sports Episode 6